Momshies! Good morning once again. Also, this is Wonder Momshi Liza. Kamusta? Alright, so welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for those who already subscribed to Wonder Momshi Liza's videos. Alright, so I just wanted to say thank you to the 1,000 subscribers who subscribed. Thank you so much. Thank you for always watching Wonder Momshi's videos. Now, today Wonder Momshies will talk about call center life once again. So let's talk about best practices in nesting. So when you say nesting, yes, this is the phase wherein call center newbies will be taking calls. Not just newbies, but call center trainees will be taking calls right after their classroom training. So I have 5 tips for call center trainees who will be transitioned to nesting or will be taking calls in nesting. So I have tips for you guys in order for you to survive and in order for you to pass your nesting certification. Alright? So again, if you haven't, if you're new to my channel, please click the subscribe button below. Thank you so much. And if you think that this video will help you a lot or really helps you a lot, or maybe your friends who are also looking for, a call center job, then share this to your friends and don't forget to like the video, okay?
Hello, Wonder Momshi! Happy Results Day, mga Momshi! Wonder Momshi!
Hi, Wonder Momshi! Please like and subscribe. Alright, so yes, again, we'll be talking about 5 tips on how to survive in your nesting phase. Okay, so as you know, I've been a nesting supervisor for quite some time. And yes, nesting is not so easy, especially to those who doesn't have call center experience because most of the time they're not performing that much, or maybe they're not yet prepared to take calls, or maybe they're still in the adjustment phase. So in order for you to survive in the nesting phase, I have a tip for you, which is tip number 1. Don't be afraid to take calls, okay? Take calls as many as you can, as much as you can, so long as you are, you are told to take calls, or you are being instructed to take calls. So let's say, for example, during your first day or maybe your first week, you are required to take calls for, let's say, 4 hours or 5 hours a day. Then be it. Don't be scared, because this is the way where, you can learn through your experience. Aside from your classroom training, you will also be learning a lot of new things when you're taking calls, because not all scenarios or not all call types will be discussed in training, or maybe it's just like a very simple scenario. But when you're taking calls, you'll be encountering a difficult or a complicated scenarios or situations by a customer or by a member. So don't forget to, just be brave enough in taking calls, because if you fail, or if you think that you're doing wrong, you're doing something wrong, or maybe you made a mistake, then it's a room for improvement for you. Then you can probably take it as a challenge wherein you can improve the next time. So again, don't be scared. You have your supervisors, you have your coaches, so you have your grad school support or nesting support that will help you, or guide you when you're taking calls. So again, take calls as much as you can. Okay? Alright. So we also have the second tip. So second tip for you is that, in your nesting phase, there are off the phones, or shall we say offline discussions. So most of the time it will take an hour or two. So make use of it. Do not just waste the time that was given, especially if there are discussions, or shall we say debriefing, that will happen every after calls, or let's say after your 5 hour phone time or scheduled phone time, there will be 1 to 2 hours of debriefing. So this is the time that we will be talking about common scenarios that you encountered while you take calls, or this is also a time for you to discuss or ask questions regarding confusions that you encountered when you're taking calls. So make use of it. Do not just waste the time, chit-chatting, or, roaming around, asking, or watching someone who is taking calls or observing. So this is the best time for discussion. So if you have questions during your call or your phone time, you park your questions and then ask questions during your debriefing. Okay? So again, make use of the time that is used for discussions. Alright? And tip number 3. So the third tip is that, I've been observing agents during nesting who are, who a bit frustrated of themselves because, they were not able to provide excellent customer service. They were not able to handle the customer's concern the way the customer wanted to be. So just, give time for yourself to improve. Okay? Let yourself improve. Don't be too hard on yourself, because you've been taking calls for just a day or two. Then you are expecting that you can perform better the way tenured agents do. Then don't. Okay? Give yourself a time to observe or absorb all those learnings from your classroom training during discussions. And then, I would say give yourself a month or two, and then that's the time that you will, judge yourself if you're doing the right thing or if you are performing well or not. Because if you're just, judging yourself on the first day, then of course you would always judge yourself as a failure. You will always, you will be frustrated. You will be, you will feel uncomfortable because you were not able to do these things. So just give yourself time to improve. Okay? Again, don't be so harsh on yourself. And make use of your coaches. Make use of your supervisors who are there to help you. Ask questions. Make sure that, you park those questions, then ask, so that you will learn. And then the next time that you encounter that same scenario or that same concern, then you will be able to handle it correctly. Okay? Right. So tip number 4, be accountable of your own learning. Okay? So what do I mean by be accountable of your own learning? Alright, so do not just depend on your coaches, your trainer, your supervisor. You yourself, you have to study harder in order for you to learn new things, or in order for you to discover things that you should be learning. When I say be accountable of your own learning, you should be very proactive in asking questions, or not just by asking questions, but be proactive in, asking for guidance on what to do. So let's say, for example, you encountered this type of scenario or this type of call wherein it was not really discussed in training, or maybe it was just, a run-through during training. So be proactive in asking your supervisor on how to handle this type of concern. And as much as, many questions or many, clarifications that you have, then you should always ask your supervisors on how to deal with it. You ask for a role play, because role play is the best way for you to learn things. Because you cannot gauge yourself if you're learning if you cannot perform it or you cannot deliver it well, right? So again, learn new things and be proactive if you don't know what to do. Okay? Do not just rely on your coaches. Yeah, my coach is not, telling me on how to do things like this. So I should not be doing it because, they're not teaching me on how to do it well. So again, do not just depend on your coaches. You have to discover it yourself. You have your tools, you have all your resources. Of course, you have your knowledge base. You can always, search for the answers, or maybe ask someone, or maybe ask your supervisor to listen to a specific, call, so that, you can get ideas on how to handle these types of calls the next time. All right? Okay, and tip number 5. So tip number 5 is, of course, you have, you took calls for a week during your nesting. You ask your supervisors ideas on how to, handle a certain scenario or certain call type. You've searched your knowledge base. You've checked, you've listened to calls. So this is now the best time for you to share your ideas to someone whom you think, doesn't know everything. So you are now sharing your thoughts on how you handle these type of concerns based on your experience. So this is now the best time for you to share your best practices as well during your phone time, during your discussions, and share it to your teammates. Okay? So that the next time they will encounter that same scenario, they will be able to do it as well. Okay, so those are the tips that I can share to you during your nesting phase so that you will be successful and you will pass and you will be endorsed to production. Alright, so again, let's have a recap of the tips that I shared today. So tip number 1, take as many calls as you can. Okay? Because it's the way you can learn through experience. Number 2, make use of your off the phones wisely. Do not just, waste your time. So listen to discussions and participate. Alright? Tip number 3, do not be so hard on yourself. Let yourself improve. Okay? Do not judge yourself that, this will lead you to frustration. I tell you. Right? So let yourself improve and, one step at a time. Okay? And then tip number 4, be accountable of your own learning. So when I say be accountable of your own learning, be proactive, do a research, listen to calls, and observe. Alright? And tip number 5, share your ideas or thoughts to your friends. Okay? Alright, so that's it for today, Wonder Momshies. I hope that, you learn new things today. Even if you're not a call center trainee, even if you're not a newbie, or you are a tenured agent in production. So apply these tips so that you will be able to, improve your call center experience, or call center, how you answer those questions or how you handle those difficult concerns of your customers. All right, so Wonder Momshies, thank you so much for your time. I hope that you had a great time listening to these tips. And thank you for watching my videos. And again, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell in order for you to be updated of my upcoming videos, okay? And again, this is Wonder Mom Shiliza once again. Thank you so much and have a great weekend. Bye! Talk to you soon in my next videos. Bye-bye!